Hello everyone, Jason Porter here with another educator resource video by TGR EDU Create. Today we're going to be talking about Flipgrid, which is a great online resource to allow your students to record video. So you may be asking yourself, why Flipgrid? Why another digital tool? Well, there's a few reasons for this. Number one is this allows a way for students to record video and for you to look at it securely without it getting out into the rest of the world, if that's what you want. The other reason is it's very easy for you and your students to set up and record these videos. Great for student reflections. If you want a student to reflect on the work that they're doing and give you an idea of how they're deeply processing what they're learning right now, these videos can be a really good way to do that. It's nice to hear from students in their own words. If you saw our TGR Foundation digital workshop last Friday, you know that there are three aspects of engagement: the behavioral, the emotional, and the cognitive. And one of the ideas that we were talking about there is that the emotional engagement is really hard to assess when you're doing remote learning with your students. But by asking them questions and seeing students process different ideas and to talk about how they're doing in their own words, you can really get a good sense of, are they being emotionally engaged, and are their emotional needs to be attended to in this time of remote learning. And a final reason is students can comment on other students' videos, so you really can drive some collaboration and interaction within your classroom, much like you would do in person, so allowing some of that same richness in the remote learning platform. Okay, so here we are in the main Flipgrid landing page. You can get there by typing in flipgrid.com into your favorite browser. And if you don't yet have an account, the first step is to sign up for an educator account. Okay, by clicking that button, it'll take us to the steps of doing that. One note, you will have to have a Google or a Microsoft account to do this, but it's easy enough to obtain a free Google account if you don't yet have that. Okay, so once you have signed up for your Flipgrid educator account, you can log in. And so we'll go to our educator login. And I signed in with my email and password, and I'm going to go ahead and log into Flipgrid. And it will then take me to my main site, okay? And it's going to default to my grids. Now, grids are like rooms where you can hold the different videos that your students are sending to you. And the rooms can be based on different subjects or different periods, or really kind of set up however you'd like them to be that's appropriate for your classroom and the work that you're doing with your students. So I'm going to take you through the process of creating a new grid and how you can put some activities into those grids to get your students to record videos. Okay, so let's come down here and add a new grid. And it's going to ask you for a name for your grid. I'm just going to call this test grid for now. And then the next step is one of the security features that I referred to earlier in the video. So you can pick your school domain for the email addresses that students can use. So that will say only the email addresses that are issued by your school are able to use to access your Flipgrid. The other is student IDs, so you can generate a list of student IDs and students log in using those unique numbers, or you can make it public. So this is nice to be able to limit who can get into and make video and view video in your room. So I'm going to go ahead and make it public for our purposes now, but you can choose which of those options make most sense for you. And then it creates automatically a flip code. You can change those flip codes to be what's most appropriate for you. You just have to make sure it's not one that's already taken. So we're going to use that flip code there. That is the link that students will use to access your grid. Okay, and then we get an option. Another security features is if we want to add a password to our account. This is a good idea to do this. So if you just click this radio button, it allows you to add a password. That way, there's another level of security for people getting into your grid and viewing those videos. Okay. We're going to go next. Now it tells me my grid is ready. It gives me my flip code, and I can copy that, and I can use it on these different features that are embedded in here, or I can just say go to my grid. So we're going to go to my grid, and this is the test grid. And then you notice within the grid, there are topics, okay? And so there's always the first topic of saying hello. That is something that Flipgrid recommends, is to have your students test out a video by just introducing themselves and saying hello. So you can do that if you'd like. You could also delete this topic if you don't want to use it. So we're going to go ahead and add a new topic, and I'm going to call this test topic. And then it gives you the option of adding in a question or stimulus text. It does require that you add something here. So I'm just going to write test. But this is a good place for you to write the question that you want your students to answer or consider in their videos. You can also set how long the recording time is. This is a really nice feature because if you want a very short video, you can set it so that they can't go over a certain period of time. We're going to set this to 1 minute for now. Okay, and then also allows you to add different emojis and Giphies and images and things that you might want on your topic that might relate to what students are recording videos about. So we're going to create our topic. Okay, tells my topic is ready. Again, gives a code for that I can copy in. Also, the nice thing is I have these QR codes, so I could click on and share a QR code that students could just use their phones to go to that link without having to get it through email or some other form like that. So very versatile ways of sharing that code for students to get in and use your topic. Okay, so when we're good to go, we're going to say all set. Okay, and now my test topic is created. Once students actually record video, they're going to show up inside this topic. One of the first things that you want to do is you want to go in and see what this is going to look like from a student's point of view. So you can click on that code. And this shows you what students will see. And here's your test grid. This will be your description here, your question prompt. And then down here, it has this green plus sign, which allows students to go in and click and record video. Now, one note, you do need to log in with either a Google or a Microsoft account in order to record video. So that's just one thing to note and make sure students are aware of. But once they have those accounts, this is a very simple process. And like I said, after students have recorded their videos, you'll see them in your topic here and be able to look at them. You'll be able to give comments on those videos. If you set it up this way, you'll also be able to have other students share comments on the videos. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the options that we have for our topic within our grid. So if we go to actions, you see we have a bunch of different options here for interacting with the topic, the way we want students to interact with the topic. We're going to go in and edit it. And I want you to see that one thing that you can do down here in the topic status is that you can allow for student replies, which right now we've allowed for. And you can also have moderated videos. So if we click on this, moderated means that you will see the video before other students will. So if you want to look at them first, make sure the content is appropriate, make sure they're answering the question, you might want to give feedback to students before they publish their final video. All of that is possible. So if you click on that, you'll be able to see them and approve them before other students can see the videos. And then again, if you want these replies, it allows students to give comments on the different videos and you can get a nice discussion going that way. Also have the opportunity to close down your grid if you're no longer using it and to set a date at which that's going to happen. Okay, so those are the basic steps that you're going to take to go in and get started with Flipgrid, from creating your educator account to creating a grid and creating a topic. Once you feel pretty comfortable with this, you can create many different topics within a single grid, or you can create many different grids within your educator account, depending on how you want to use it. I want to just show you a last couple features that could be very helpful, and some of these are fairly new. Flipgrid is good about adding new features pretty regularly, so it's good to check back and see what new things are there. Mixtapes is interesting. That allows you to take some videos that you or your students have recorded and mix them together to make a little mashup. So that could be interesting for kind of promoting the work you're doing, or even showing students kind of a reflection of where their conversation was going. Grid Pals is also really nice because it allows you to see other educators that are working around the world using Flipgrid that you could potentially collaborate with or get ideas from. And you can set whether your account is hidden or active to allow other educators to contact you. If you have some educators that you are collaborating with and want to use Flipgrid, if you make this active, you'll be able to find each other and share some of the information that you're doing within your classrooms with each other. So that could be very helpful. And then finally, want to show you the Disco library. And so this is where you can see some other Flipgrids that other educators have set up. Some of these are very polished, and you can get some good ideas here instead of starting from scratch, kind of get an idea of how this all. Okay, so hopefully that has been helpful to get an overview of Flipgrid. Okay, so thanks so much for watching another video from TGR EDU Create. As always, please reach out or leave comments below if we can support you in using these tools at all. And tag us on social media. Let us know how you're using Flipgrid and other tools as you're doing remote learning with your students. Take care.